Carmen. Today we have a reading for you about somebody that is quite talented at shapeshifting. They're able to see what other people are doing or feeling or saying, and they try to mimic that to fit in. And because they are so fixated on trying to be like everyone else, we have someone who is kind of struggling to enjoy their life. So that's a struggle because they don't seem to really know who they are. Hopefully your comment, Lemonade, is what cuts off that repeating reminder, but we'll see what happens. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. No worries, Lemonade. If you would like a personal reading, my email address can be found in the description box. It's wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. And in that description box, you can also find out how to become a member if you are looking to gain access to additional content. Beyond that, you can also find the link to my Etsy page if you are interested in a homemade soy candle. Let's see. And also just remember that if you hear from a person offering personal readings in the comments, it's probably not me because I'm never going to start that conversation with you. It would always be started by email for any kind of personal reading, okay? Or on the live streams. But let's dive in. I think we will start with, we'll go with the Prisma Visions Tarot. Hello, OCX. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Do we need one more candle, maybe? Maybe just one more. All right. What else do we have? Let's We have the Magician and the Eight of Cups. I love this card. I don't know if I dare say what it reminds me of, but it was like an older meme where I think its basis was the Dave Chappelle show. Sprinkle a little and then leave. Do you know what I'm talking about? This is interesting because I do feel like this is someone who that magician energy really kind of aligns with the fox because you are capable. You're a bit of a mystery. People don't know how it is that you do what you do. But I do think this is someone who does not stay around long. So they might change jobs often or move to different towns frequently. But they like to almost like reinvent themselves every time they go to a new community and they try to see what they can get from that community. Hello, Hermione. How are you doing? We have the Queen of Swords in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, and the Two of Wands. So anywhere they travel, and they do seem to travel a lot, they kind of pick up on the data or the energy around them and try to like fit in with that. With the Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Lovers in the reverse, it feels like they don't ever really commit to anything for too long. And quite often, if people ask about their previous experiences or, where they used to live, they come up with a different story. So they reinvent themselves often. And with this Two of Wands, we have someone who has made plans to land somewhere new. So I do feel like this is about someone who's new to town. I'm doing well. Thank you, Hermione. Hello, Maximus. Please call me Carmen. And thank you, Leia. I hope you're having a good day so far. Oh, I sure hope. Let's ask that though, right? Glow up plus more value. I've added that to the list. Thank you, Leah. We are at 5 minutes in, so probably about 30 minutes if you want to check back, or you can enjoy the general reading until then. What else do we have? We have the World. Yeah, this is someone who travels quite often. They see what they can get from a particular community or what they can learn. In some cases, they might even be stealing identities. But this is someone who does not let anybody in. They're very much so a lone wolf. They don't trust anyone, in part because they know they can't be trusted. So we have this particular situation that is like basically getting them to daydream about what it would be like if they could pick a place and actually stay there instead of always having to, put a new face on or create a new identity. Hello, Dana. How you doing? The Tower in the reverse and the Ace of Swords. What if I told the truth instead of lying all the time? What if I got settled and stayed here instead of feeling like, I always have to rush away? What if I, changed my approach? And it kind of makes me think of that movie, The Age of Adeline, where I think it was Blake Lively's character got into some sort of car accident and it stopped her from aging. And that's not always going to be an easy thing to talk about. So she felt like she had to change locations or even identities in order to avoid being questioned as to why she still looks the same as she did 20 years earlier, right? So there's this temptation that happens in the movie, and it's one that gets her to really contemplate, like, do I want to keep running or should I get comfortable here? Should I get to know the people that I have befriended even more? Or is it time for me to run away again? Four of Swords in the reverse. 10 of Swords. And the Two of Pentacles. Yeah. So we have a crossroads. We have an important decision for our magician. They have to decide, am I going to keep having this, ambulatory life or life on the road because I don't feel like I can get comfortable or stay in one place for too long? Ten of Wands and Justice. There's a temptation for the magician, some reason that makes them feel like maybe it would be painful to walk away from this particular community or perhaps a particular person. Maybe they've fallen in love, like the movie, or maybe there's some sort of sense of community that they have discovered. This is Under the Oak. What else do we have? The Moon, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and the Hierophant. Yeah, there is a question of maybe it's time for me to have some roots. Maybe I'm not meant to be on my own all the time. Maybe it's time for me to give up this, kind of illusion of a life. There's an impulsive desire to have something of substance or perhaps have a relationship. Maybe they feel like they've encountered a mentor that helps them to see things in a new way. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse and the Three of Wands. I know that I have been difficult or stubborn, and at the first hint of problems or some sort of like opposition, I run. But what if I didn't? What if I didn't fight that desire to build a trusting relationship, even if it is platonic versus romantic? They're starting to feel less like being a lone wolf is the right call. And they're yearning for that sense of connection to someone else or to a community. Eight of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So should I maintain these boundaries? Should I maintain this like really high wall around me to keep people out? Or can I trust someone and actually like get to know them better and let them know me better? Three of Swords. The Ace of Cups in the reverse. And the High Priestess in the reverse. Yeah, the question is, should I continue to be secretive when I know that it makes me feel disconnected? When it makes me feel like I don't have anyone that I can confide in? They're feeling lonely. Hello, Two. How are we doing today? Is he my soulmate or karmic? I've got that down for you. Thank you, Two. What else do we have? Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is in the reverse, by the way, along with the Devil. Fear. Fear has been a main motivating factor for the Magician for the balance of their life, the majority of their life. They have felt like they can't invest in anything or have roots in a particular place. They feel like if they stay for too long, then something will catch up to them, or someone will ask questions, or they'll feel trapped. So there's been no long-term stability or no trust placed in another person. And that has got them feeling very emotional right now because they have not been able to connect in a human way for a very long time. But now we have this Four of Wands indicating that we have someone feeling more comfortable in this particular location than they have felt anywhere else. And they're wondering, does that mean it's time for me to like take a different approach to connecting? Should I let someone actually get to know who I am? Let's see. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. I was hoping you would show up since I keep saying the lone wolf comment. I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? The Lovers. Strength. And another 8, the Eight of Cups in the reverse. We just had the Eight of Swords. I feel like we had another 8 up top here. Maybe not. So the question is, do I have what it takes to commit to this community or maybe even this person, even though it's like a habit for me to walk away, even though I've always felt safer if it was just me and I could control everything. But they're realizing their need to control everything isn't actually control, it's more fear. When you make a decision or when you take an action, all of those can be attributed to one or the other, love or fear. Are you acting in fear or are you doing something out of love? And I feel like we have someone here who's acknowledging that even though they feel safer, that they've been able to avoid strong connections, emotional connections with others, they're lonely. They want something, even if there is a bit of risk, they want someone to know who they really are. And it reminds me, I don't remember where I heard this. If I asked, I'm pretty sure my mom would know. But the saying to have mattered in reference to what is the main goal in your life. To have done something or left an impact or an influence to have mattered, right? So that you're not forgettable or it was like a waste of flesh and bone and breath. We've got someone here who's acknowledging they don't want to just be like a flash in the pan or someone that nobody ever really remembers. Hello, Rick. How are you doing? Maybe I don't want to walk away this time. Maybe what I want is to actually get to know these people or this love interest. Six of Swords in the reverse. I don't want to run away. I don't want to travel elsewhere. And maybe that means I'm going to have to answer some difficult questions about my past or who I am or why I lied about my name or whatever. But maybe it's worth it. Judgment in the reverse and the Two of Pentacles. So our magician is currently waffling. Do I allow this person to know who I really am, or should I walk away? Can I handle letting somebody in and knowing what's going on with my life and who I really am? Or do I need to keep the illusion going? We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse and the Chariot. Can I let go of that anxiety and that stress associated with letting somebody know who I am? Or am I going to run away scared? Do I need to go and flee again? Hello, Kang. How you doing? What else, please? Temperance in the reverse. Eight of Swords. We've got restlessness, anxiety, inability to sleep or stay focused on something. Because I don't know how someone's going to respond. I don't know how they're going to handle the truth if I tell them who I really am. Oh, hello, Aya. And thank you, Redbeard. Let me know if I could pull some cards for you, please. Thank you to those that are gifting the memberships to others. That means a lot to me, and I'm pretty sure to those that receive them as well. Hello, Jamaica. How you doing? Hello, Copper. Hello, Delinia. How we doing? Ten of Cups in the reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. Because we have this magician doubting the repeating pattern that they've always had because they've encountered a Queen of Pentacles. In other words, someone who is extremely reliable. They aren't here trying to, win, or they're not selfish. This is someone who wants to actually understand who this magician is. And even though with this Ten of Cups in the reverse, this might be a new friend or acquaintance, there is this uncanny sense of belonging that the magician feels, even if this is a place that they've only been in for 24 hours, even if this is a person that they've only met 2 hours ago. I don't know about you all, but I haven't been on a plane in a long time, but I used to travel a lot for work. So I would be on the plane by myself, right? Now I love to have headphones in and just like jam out to some tunes. But I will tell you this, especially in airplanes or airports, where I have been traveling on my own, it's like I'm a magnet, and people will tell me their whole life story, and I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, I just don't know why I'm telling you all of this. Sometimes you encounter people that you can tell are not going to judge you and just want to give you that opportunity to speak the truth, right? And I think that's what we have here. The magician has encountered a Queen of Pentacles, someone they know they could trust, and someone they feel like they could be honest with. Hello, Colleen. How are you doing? Hello, Brenda. Oh, I got you, Copper. Let's reach down here. And Copper, if you are new to the channel, I do the personal questions after the general, which will be in approximately 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less. And I'm sending you a hug. Sorry to hear that you're going through some struggles lately, but the collective is awesome. They like to send positivity your way. So if you all have a moment to send some positive energy towards Copper, I would appreciate that. And let's see. I've added your request. And Redbeard, you got to be more clear. Do you want me to pull some cards for you? We've got the Three of Wands in the reverse, the King of Cups, and Death in the reverse. So I've met this person. I didn't expect to feel so connected to them. I didn't feel like I would meet someone who so quickly took me out of my defensive mode, but it's making me feel like I don't want to distance myself from this person ever again. I feel welcome. I feel like I belong. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like they won't judge me. All right. Let's see what else we have. This is the romantic Lenormand. All right, sounds good, Redbeard. What else do we have? Birds. Communication. Gossip, possibly? What else? Here's the pretty birds. Pretty bird. What else? The garden. That's the sense of community. They didn't expect this to come through. They felt like they'd be able to detach relatively easily like they had in other locations. But whatever the community is that they've happened upon, they actually feel welcome and they don't want to leave. Maybe I could be friends with these people. Maybe I could date that one person. Maybe I shouldn't run away. This is the Spellcaster's Tarot. Hello, Darnell. How you doing? Four of Pentacles in the reverse. The Four of Wands in the reverse. I've only pulled 2 cards, and both of them are the number 4. There's only 5 total out of 78. You can calculate that probability if you want, but it's pretty low, especially because they are both in the reverse. And this is saying, basically, instability is what I am used to. I'm used to not being able to predict anything. I'm used to not being able to trust anyone. I have to keep everything, within eyesight, and I have to make sure I hear everything because I need to know who to watch out for, who's the problem. But now they're looking around and realizing, wow, I think I'm actually dealing with people who are legit. I keep expecting this sabotage energy or this you're not really my friend, backstabby type energy. And now the magician is acknowledging I might have been assuming the worst. I might have been expecting bad behavior when I didn't really need to. I'm going to light one more candle. Maybe I've been paranoid or maybe I've been running when I didn't really need to. Hello, Key Controller. How you doing? Yeah, Key Controller Redbeard donated a membership and he's on the list, but if you want me to pull cards for you, it looks like Redbeard is happy to let you have that reading. We need a better candle. Very picky with the light, I guess. Is that better? All right. So there you are again, the magician. You are very capable. Now, keep in mind, you could be the Queen of Pentacles, right? You could be that person that makes someone feel comfortable enough to tell you who they really are. Six of Swords and the Magician. Maybe things would be better if I stay here. Maybe my fear of letting somebody get to know me is like a little unwarranted in this situation because I'm dealing with somebody who is actually quite trustworthy. Oh, I understand that, Copper. I hope that your discernment continues to get stronger and stronger. No worries, Key Controller. What else do we have? We have the Page of Wands. And the Hanged Man. Now, this is a pretty brutal Hanged Man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, generally you have somebody who's suspended from a tree. And look, they are, but they're also like belted in. It's excessive. This is some self-awareness. Maybe I've been too harsh. Maybe I've been too quick to judge others as not trustworthy. Maybe I have attributed negative traits to people I've encountered because I didn't like let go of the anger or forgive people in my past. But this Queen of Pentacles seems like somebody who actually wants to be there for me and wouldn't judge me unfairly for what I've been through or where I come from or what my real name is. Hello, Third Eye. How are you doing? That's totally fair, Key Controller. What else do we have? King of Swords. Three of Pentacles. So this King of Swords is the trustworthy Queen of Pentacles energy. This is why we don't put too much weight on what the genders are that come through from the tarot, because our Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords is the same person. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. This Queen of Pentacles person is also very adept at communication. So yes, they are a good friend. Yes, they are reliable. They can be trusted to keep your secret or pay you back. They've got a pretty stable home life, but we've got someone who I think is maybe working with them or considering selling something to them. And now we have the Magician wondering, maybe this is someone who's meant to be in my life. Maybe this is my divine counterpart, Queen of Swords. King of Swords, Queen of Swords are divine counterparts. I think we have someone who's falling in love. Emperor. Aries energy. So this Queen of Swords, Emperor, is our magician. There's very possibly some fire energy in this person's chart, probably Aries. But the fact that we have both of these individuals, the main characters, coming out as the King or Queen of Swords, we could also have Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra in their chart. But there is an intelligence, an integrity, and an appreciation for honesty that these two have in common. And it's making this magician feel like maybe, just maybe, I could just tell you who I really am and I don't have to pretend anymore. Maybe I could trust you. Thank you, Dana. Is Bond a soulmate or karmic? I've added that for you. Thank you. Hello, Erin. How are you doing today? You have the Death card. Justice in the reverse. And Strength. Yeah. maybe I'm not going to walk away in fear this time. Maybe instead of ending this friendship or this happy existence, I could lean into it and make the decision to stay and become a part of this community. So you can call me a dork or a nerd, but this is also making me think of one of the best Star Trek Enterprise episodes. Partly love it because one of the, oh gosh, what are they? Hold on a second, it's in my mind. One of the Vulcans loves I Love Lucy in this episode. What is it called? Carbon Creek, I believe. Um, we have Vulcans crashing into Earth, unable to escape the planet. They have to hide who they really are, of course. They can't be like, hey, we're aliens. What's up? You guys want to like hire us for some work? What do you say? So they have to like grow out their hair or wear funny hats in order to make sure that the folks at Carbon Creek don't know who they really are. And one of those three Vulcans ends up deciding, spoiler alert, that they don't want to leave. I want to stay here. It's the guy who likes I Love Lucy. Um, I think we have someone who's saying, I don't want to leave. I don't want to be distrustful. I don't want to be a lone wolf anymore. I think I want to actually get to know this person or these people. Now, that Vulcan example, I wish I remembered his name, but I don't. He did fall for a woman. They had a kiss and she asked how it was, and he said it was pleasant. And she was like, is that it? Pleasant? Kind of hoping for a little bit more. And the funny thing is, the cards for the Spellcaster's Tarot, I'm kind of hesitant to show you because she's naked. But we do have a little bit of an alien vibe. Even the Empress has green skin in this deck. So we have someone who is generally kind of considered an outsider, feeling like they want to become part of the group. Aw. I hope that changes. What else? So we have a lucky break, good fortune. No more running because you found somebody that you can trust. You're learning each other and starting to feel more comfortable with this person. And instead of running away, I think I'll get a little bit more comfortable because it's my pattern to ghost or, freak out and run to the next town, start over again. But the reality is, I really like this situation. I really like this person. I could see myself being happy here long term. I didn't think I would ever be this happy, but here we are. And yet they're nervous about, how does this actually go? I'm so used to not telling people who I really am or hiding my identity. If I'm actually honest and I let this person in, what does that look like? And how do I change my behavior? Because they're very used to being secretive. But this Queen of Pentacles has got their magician ready to be more open and vulnerable with them. All right, let's see what we've got for personal questions. We've got Leia, and then 2, and then Copper, and then Dana, and then Redbeard. We're going to go with the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. So for Leia, we have, has Leia gone through a glow up? Is there more value retained for Leia now? Yes, the Tower and the Wheel. I love that. 2 very powerful cards for you, Leia. The Tower indicating a sense of something being dismantled in your life that had caused delays or problems for you. And as a result, now you're able to pursue a new chapter, or there's change that is putting success in your path or on your path. So what else? We have the Knight of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. Yep. Opportunity, excitement. You're coming through as very charming. People might be especially attracted to you at this time. And with the Ace of Pentacles, I do feel like there's going to be a positive impact on your perceived value to others, but also I think your financial stability. So that could impact things like interviews, for example. Hello, CJ. How are you doing? Let me add that for you, Dana. Does Black Cat like me and want to stay? I've added that for you. Thank you, Dana. So Leah, take a look in the mirror. Remember that you are awesome. And yes, absolutely, you're going through a very positive shift. And other people are noticing it as well. Let's see what we've got for 2. We want to know whether or not C is 2's soulmate or karmic. Is C 2's soulmate? We have yes. Wow, with the Emperor, 5 of Pentacles and the Emperor. This is someone who's going to help you through a difficult time. Someone who enables you to feel more empowered to make change after a difficult chapter in your life. And someone who has gone through that themselves. Judgment in the reverse and 6 of Swords. Yeah, there's big like recuperation or healing or like dark night of the soul energy with this person and overcoming those difficulties or overcoming adversity, finding a way to get to calmer waters. 8 of Cups in the reverse and the 6 of Wands. This person has good luck and they are meant to bring good luck to your life as well. So 6 of Wands, I feel like they're going to be very supportive and help guide you towards a more successful situation. And yet, you may also feel like you've known this person a long time. I do feel like you may have had a connection in a previous lifetime. Queen of Wands in the reverse and the Hanged Man in the reverse. Be cautious because there's someone external to this pairing that is going to encourage you to look at that individual, the Emperor, with a more like critical eye. So I don't know if this is family or friend, but we have someone who is unhelpful. Their opinion seems to be a little bit biased or overly negative. So don't let that drown out your own discernment with them. Hello, Colleen. How are you doing? Big lighter work. You're funny. Hello, Brian. How are you doing? All right, so I wish you luck with that too. I love that answer for you, especially because you got someone who is invested or wants to invest in your success. Let's see what we've got for copper. This is the Marseille Cat Tarot. What is it that copper needs to know to get through this difficult time, please? What is it that copper needs to know to get through this difficult time? I'm proud of you, Colleen. Ace of Swords. 7 of Pentacles in the reverse. The Magician and the Knave of Chalices or Page of Cups. You are a very capable individual, Copper. I don't feel like you give yourself enough credit for just how quickly you learn or adapt, the type of contribution you bring to a group or a team setting, but also your ability. I feel like you have the ability to be motivated without somebody like poking and prodding you, right? You don't need a carrot to inspire you to run around. If you know you need to get from point A to point B, you can motivate yourself to do that. The thing is, I feel like there is something here where maybe you are giving your energy to something that you should pull back on. I feel like you have overextended yourself in a particular part. Tell me more about the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. This could be friendship or romance, but there's an emotional component here. And you may also be helping this person financially or trying to offer them some sense of stability, but this is a drain on your resources. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? Hey, Leah, I started the personal questions about 6 minutes ago. So if you want to rewind it to about 34 minutes, you were the first one that I did. You should be able to find your reading. What else do we need for copper, please? Nine of Cups. I see things changing very positively for you. But the issue here is you need to invest more of your energy in your own pursuits and take back your energy or reclaim it from someone who is not making the best use of your energy. If you view your time and your energy, or shoot, even like eating food as energy is a currency, then I feel like your perspective will change as to what kind of instability or what kind of gap there is between what you need for yourself and what you actually offer to yourself. This could be someone who kind of refuses to take responsibility for their own bills or situations. Could even just be that this person's very stressful to talk to all the time, right? Hello, Priyanka. How are you doing? Let me add that for you. What good things are coming in love? And career in May. Awesome. I've added that for you. I also like carrot cake with cream cheese icing. Perfect. Hello, Pharaoh. How are you doing today? So regarding this energy that you need to reclaim as your own, this is somebody that I feel has let you down in the past. Maybe you're really consistent with this person. If you say you're going to do something, you are going to do something. But if you ask them to help you move or ask them to like watch your dog or your kid or whatever, they fall through on that promise, then this is the person you need to separate from or gain some sort of emotional distance from, because they are a drain on your resources. So once you take back this energy, what happens? You escape from the blocked energy. So this is the person you need to get away from. This person could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, but most notably, they are not truth-telling. They will exaggerate, or they will obfuscate or omit or blame other people. And as a result, they have this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse following them. They taint the good things around them with negative energy. And the Six of Swords is about moving into calmer waters. You escape this negative energy and therefore have a more abundant path when this King of Swords is no longer invited to the party. Hello, Anne. How are you doing? Hello, Llama. That makes sense, Copper. Thank you, Pharaoh. All right. I hope that helps, and I'm sending you a big ol' hug, okay? I don't know if I should be calling you Penny instead of Copper. But forgive me, when I think of the name Penny, I think of my dog. She's not with me anymore, but loved her to pieces. All right, let's see what we have for Dana. I'm gonna go with the Bianco Nero. So is Bon a soulmate for Dana? Is Bon a soulmate for Dana? No. Is Bon a karmic? Yes. With the Seven of Swords, no less. That's too funny. Oh, I love it, Copper. We don't deserve dogs. They're amazing. So it looks like there is something very guarded or cut off about Vaughn that basically makes it so that he's heavily stuck in the karmic energy. There's an unwillingness to be like completely honest or open, vulnerable. And therefore, that true emotional connection seems like a far off possibility. With this Six of Wands, we notice there's nobody in the background. Bond seems to feel, much like in the general reading, that things are better if he's isolated and nobody has access to him. So we have the Empress in the reverse because there is a failure on the divine feminine side for Bond that makes it incredibly difficult for there to be an emotional connection. He really just seems to be focused on himself and viewing other people being connected to him as kind of like a draw on energy or too much work. Ace of Cups in the reverse, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. There is multiple opportunities that have shown up for Bond to address this lack of emotional intimacy or maturity, and he continually just like kind of blocks it out, has blinders, doesn't want to deal with that, doesn't want to think about the long term, feels like it'll always be better if he's on his own. So he has very entrenched perspective on this and seems to be quite stubborn. Does the black cat like Dana? It's like, yeah, I guess. I don't think this black cat warms up very easily. You've got two distinct moods. Maybe this cat is a little bit unpredictable in terms of the disposition. But I would say, I don't like a lot of people, but if I had to say I like someone, it would be this lady. This lady makes me feel comfortable or like I've got some safety, but also I'm still dealing with some trust issues. So was this black cat like not taken care of well previously? Ten of Cups in the reverse. Queen of Pentacles. So this cat has not had a lot of positive examples of human connection. So does the cat like you? Medium, I think would be the answer. But I feel like you're their favorite person. And will the cat want to stay, or does the cat want to stay? Yes. Like I said, I think this cat looks at you as the best human option out there, right? Hello, Carla. How are you doing? That's funny. Yep. Robert, what are you trying to say? Are you talking about baby food? Hello, Hayden. How are you doing? Oh, you're so welcome, Dana. Oh, are you suggesting baby food for the cat? That's funny. Train a cat, they train you. Totally agree. Welcome back, Lemonade. Even goldfish are trainable. It's true. All right, let's see what we've got for Priyanka. This is the Beginner's Tarot. What good things are coming in love and career in May? What good things are coming in love in May for Priyanka, please? Page of Cups in the reverse, Six of Swords in the reverse, and the Chariot in the reverse. I mean, Priyanka, forgive me for a second, but I'm just going to say I appreciate wanting good news, but the question might be more impactful or effective for you if you just ask what's happening in May, because I worry that you are excluding warnings that you might need from people or spirit guides. And sometimes they will take over the question anyways, because these cards are not good. So it's asking what good things are coming in love in May. And this is saying basically rejection is protection. So there is something that does not work out in love. And they're saying that's a good thing because you are not supposed to get stuck with this person. So sometimes they just kind of bypass the tuning into just the good stuff. They want you to know there is someone that it's not going to work out with, and it is not supposed to work out with this person because they do not have emotional maturity figured out, and they expect you to figure things out for them, or they might do the, weaponized incompetence thing, the poor communication thing. So it's a victory for you when something doesn't work out with this King of Cups in the reverse, because they would continue to cause problems for you down the line. Hello, Imported. How are you doing? I didn't know women could flirt with curtain blinds. Oh man, there's a joke I want to make so bad right now. Is anyone psychic out there picking up on it? It has to do with the word curtains. Let me just see if there's anything else. Is there another person that shows up in May in love for Priyanka, please? Yes, but this is saying what's really important in May is that you disconnect and let go of and consider it rejection is protection with this King of Cups in the reverse, because what it is doing is creating space in your life for the person that you are supposed to be connecting with. So the risk here is you're going to get overly upset or maybe even a little bit like fixated on one particular person, and the universe or your spirit guides are like, please, please, for the love of God, look at this rejection as protection. Whether you reject them or they reject you, this King of Cups in reverse ain't it. And if you are quick to let go of this person instead of getting caught up in this Five of Cups or grief or sorrow, if you are quick to let go of that and accept that person is not right for you, then it allows you to actually have space for a real love instead of being fixated or focused on somebody who doesn't know how to be emotionally available. So rejection is protection. What about career, please? So it looks like we have an angry boss. Someone who doesn't know how to manage their feelings. Four of Swords in the reverse. Continuing despite dire stress. This person is like under a lot of pressure, and you say one wrong thing and they're going to fly off the handle. So there is an opportunity for you to take a different approach with this person. For example, maybe you just kind of avoid them or you don't call them out on how they treat you if they're angry. And you have an opportunity to respectfully say, hey, I'm sorry that you're going through so much. That really does, suck that you're going through that. Jim, grow up, bro. Like, dang, that's what you do on a Sunday? There's like websites for that, right, homie? How are you not embarrassed? I feel like there is a mature conversation that happens this month And Priyanka, it's not going to be easy, but when you choose your words carefully, I do think that you're able to set a different expectation or a different tone with your workplace. I think it's a boss, but it would be somebody that you feel like you need to clear the air with. And I'm going to tell you an example, Priyanka. I worked for a small company where the owner of the company was known for losing his temper and, like, publicly yelling at people. And it took a while, but he eventually did it to me. And I don't feel it was deserved. Maybe everyone feels that way. But in general, I feel like you could have a conversation that's even keeled and not yelling whenever you're dealing with problems at work. This person loses their temper, even though that was literally the owner of the company. I walked into his office one day and I said, "Hey, I hope everything's going well. I wanted to talk to you for a moment if I could. I have heard you say, and I believe it to be true, that you consider me to be an asset on the team. And that's a great motivator for me to continue to give you my highest level of effort. But the other day, when you were verbally offensive and called me a name in front of other people, it gave me the impression that you don't consider me to be an asset on the team. It made me feel disrespected. I feel like I would be able to give you my best possible effort if we could agree that having even keel conversations or respectful comments on what needs to happen, that could make it a lot easier for me to give my all to the team. Does that make sense? Now, that might have been a little bit condescending. That might have been just a snitch bitchy, but it worked. He was a little bit quiet for a little bit, but he didn't yell at me again. And it seems to me like that's the conversation that needs to happen. So I would try to do that if you can. Oh, that's sweet, third eye. um, Hello, Jack. How are you doing? Thank you for the compliment. I don't know, maybe you're talking to someone else. There's some smart people in the live chat too. Priyanka, I wish you the best. And let's see what we've got for Leia. One day did he and his friend and admire and his friends. Let me get a different tarot deck for you. So one day, will the person on Leia's mind and friends admire Leia? Yes. I'm going to tell you right now, Leia, it is connected to your self-respect. Much like I just conveyed in that conversation with a former boss of mine, the way you allow other people to speak to you or treat you is letting other people around you know what kind of respect is expected. And even though nobody saw how I spoke to my boss that day or what transpired in his office, I do think that there were a number of people who kind of picked up on a shift in energy. There is a way that you walk away from this person and you manage to be unbothered that treats or teaches these individuals that you are to be respected. If, however, you are the type that comes back and begs for attention or allows for mistreatment, then no, they will not admire you. It depends on how you show up with regards to people disrespecting you. Standing on business and letting people know this is what's okay, and otherwise, if that's how you're going to treat me, I'm gone. That's where the admiration begins. Thank you, Carla. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Did I say hello to Anne? Thank you, Erin. And it looks like we've got one for Stephanie. How are you doing today, Stephanie? And thank you, Erin. Future actions and M's feelings. Okay. For Stephanie, what are the future actions from M towards Stephanie, please? Devil in the reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse, Ten of Swords in the reverse, and the World. I feel like there is an attempt through introspection and self-awareness to address and heal from issues in the past. This is very healing energy, letting go. I feel like this is forgiving someone. It could be other than you, but it could also be you. Take it how it resonates. But this is like closing out a chapter. I'm not going to let that negative energy impact my future anymore. So is this forgiving Stephanie? Yes. And what about the feelings from M towards Stephanie, please? Nine of Cups in the reverse, Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords. We have a lot of anxiety and possessiveness. I let you go, or I walked away, or I allowed for there to be this distance between us. I let this argument get bigger than it needed to, and now I'm worried that I won't be able to get you back, or I won't be able to repair what has been broken. Temperance and the Queen of Swords. M feels like you might be icy or not very receptive if there were to be an apology. Does M want to apologize? No? I feel like it's this way. If you apologize for something, then I will apologize, but I'm not going to reach out and apologize first. I want us to be on better terms. I want to bury the hatchet, but you first. Like, you have to start the conversation. That's how M sees it. Hello, James. How are you doing? Imported. That's funny. Ooh, Aaron, I know those nachos, first of all, it's like probably triple the amount of food that I needed. So I wish I could have like split them with someone, to be honest, but like probably the best nachos I've had in my entire life, and I might have the opportunity to have them again here in the next couple of weeks. If I do, I will take another picture. Just to let you all know. Hello, Sarah Ann, how are you doing? Let's see, James. Let me grab a tarot deck for you. Oh, look at, we could go with the Golden Girls, shall we? All right. Will James have enough energy to finish the new week? You could, but it feels to me like you're going to make a decision that makes it worse. So, for example, if you're feeling low on energy, someone might scarf down like 3 donuts because, ooh, sugar. And then you have that like sugar crash, or like that, yeah, I think it's just like a crash out, right? So this is saying you can get through the week, but it seems like there is something that you decide to do that exacerbates the tiredness or the lack of energy. So catch yourself before you do this thing. Maybe it's, oh, I'm planning on going to bed by 11 p.m., but oops, it's 3 in the morning all of a sudden. How did that happen? You can make it through, but there is a routine or a thing that you tend to do when you're stressed. You can't do that thing. It's going to make it impossible to get through with high levels of energy or with the appropriate amount of energy. So you got to reject something. Either you got to say, sorry, I can't watch that show, or sorry, I can't go out to that happy hour, or sorry, I can't have a fourth donut. But there's something that you have to say no to, and if you do, then you get through the week all right. Thank you for the gold coin, Pharaoh. Wait, Aaron, what are you saying? Oh, you want your own nachos? I mean, I totally get it. Maybe bring her a new curtain. Oh, that's wild. A new curtain. Let's see. That's funny. Nacho man. Yeah, cut back on the energy drinks, please, James, and you'll be fine. All right, let's see. My cat's name is Nacho. I love it. Hello, RV. How are you doing? May he bless you too. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? Sharing is caring. All right, y'all. I think that is the end of today's reading. I appreciate all the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for being patient with me while I have gone through and probably still will have a little bit of lingering technical issues, including my video that was recorded by Potato Can. Was that what we decided, Redbeard? Oh wait, Redbeard said he wanted one. Hold on. Let's see what we got for Redbeard. We're gonna go with the Wild Unknown because I feel like that suits you, Redbeard. What do we have for Redbeard, please? That's funny. Redbeard's like, man, she almost forgot. That would have been great. What do we have for Redbeard? Justice in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Death in the reverse. And the Queen of Wands. There's someone in your midst who has broken the rules. Someone who has gone against what they know they should have done. And there's going to be some sort of cost here. It could be a friendship is ending or a job is lost or somebody has to pay a fine. But the issue is this person, and I guess it could be you, this person continues to do the same thing and not expect there to be consequences. And maybe they've been able to get away without any consequences so far, but now there's going to be consequences. So it could be someone around you is getting karma. I feel like it's someone around you. And I think you may have even warned this person. This could be a family member. But with the Page of Wands in the reverse, I do feel like someone in your vicinity or in your sphere, they're going to be getting some bad news. And they felt pretty confident that they were going to be able to avoid that bad news. Not really sure why. Maybe they just felt like they were never going to have any kind of rules enforced. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, James. Hey, Philip, if it's not for you, keep it moving, hun. I ain't gonna change just because you got an opinion. So, Redbeard, I guess, in particular, this is telling you that your intuition is likely to be confirmed. I think you would have warned this person that there would be some sort of consequence for their actions, and they did not want to believe you. But it turns out you are right. All right. I love you all. Thank you again for the likes. I'll see you in the next reading. Toodles.